row of the grid. And then second spot we've got 19. That's Richard Markham Barrett on the BMW.
A bit of a wheel stand there from Tony, but he's managed to keep the power on, and actually he's got quite a good drive. He's going to take the whole shot. What a fantastic start from Tony Rees.
Alistair Hugenboozem back in third spot, but he looks like he's going up the inside to take second. So it's now Mitch Rees out front, Alistair Hugenboozem second. Look at the speed they're carrying into pothole.
I think that's actually Tony Rees out in the front there, Phil.
Your eyesight's better than mine, mate. I'll tell you that much, because they both are riding identical bikes.
Just judging from the start position, yeah, definitely it was Tony, because Mitch has just slammed it straight up the inside of him.
Alistair into
first
both of them into
place.
the hairpin. So it's Alistair Hugenboozem out in front going into the inside complex. You got the fast right, fast left, fast right into Nanas.
Nanas is a particularly scary corner on a superbike. It tightens up on the exit, and you're already hard on the gas.
There's a surface change as you come out of Nanas, where the old track used to be.
That's right. Used to be a hairpin.
Particularly in the wet, you get a huge difference in grip as you go across that transition.
Absolutely.
But it's Alistair Hugenboozem with Mitch Rees.
Mitch Rees in second,
breathing up his exhaust pipe. Alistair knows these two bikes are very, very closely matched, and he historically has managed to get the whole shot at the end of the straight by out-braking Mitch Rees and tipping it into the left-hander at the end of the main straight. But let's see, it is neck and neck. They are a bike lengths apart, with Alistair with the advantage.
Absolutely, and he's running the defensive line into turn one. He'll brake late and very hard, but that
tries to get up the
outside.
inside and doesn't make it stick. So Alistair goes round the second part of that left-hander and absolutely flying down towards pothole.
And watch them as they come out of pothole. Watch for the wheel stands.
And this is where Mitch is fast too, because he outbrakes Alistair as they go into the hairpin. You watch. He generally tries to outbrake him into that. No, not this time.
Of course,
it's a 10-lap race. It's not a sprint. It's a race. It's a marathon. 10 laps. It's hard work on these bikes. You know, as long as they stick. Look at the lap, the lead they're pulling out on Mitch already. The field is already starting to spread out. So as long as Mitch can keep up with Alistair, keep him in his sights, he doesn't have to put it all on the line on lap 3.
No, absolutely. It's definitely going to be a game of chess between these two. I think Alistair will try and put on a couple of really fast laps and see if he can make a break. If not, he might just try and settle into a very fast rhythm and see if he can force Mitch into making a mistake, trying to make a pass.
Now, Mitch is quicker through the infield.
Absolutely.
He is quicker. That bike seems to turn in better than Alistair's Yamaha. But, hey, I mean,
the new Honda's got a very, very sweet chassis. It does turn exceptionally well, unlike the famed MotoGP bike by Honda this year. So a good little break there from Alistair.
0.2 of a second advantage for Alistair Hugenboozem. A new fastest lap by Alistair, 1 minute 30.8.
And that's pretty close to national record pace, to be honest.
I don't know what the lap record is, but that's absolutely flying.
I believe it's high 128s.
128.7.
There we go. There we go, Phil.
So, yeah, we're still a couple of seconds off that, but not by much. But this is only lap 3, so, you know, there's a way to go yet. There will be a slight advantage as the bikes start using fuel, that the weight does go down, but yeah, probably not a huge amount, but it could be a 1/10 of a second a lap, something like that. But it's the same for both of them. But at the moment, it is Alistair Hugenboozem out in front from Mitch Rees. Tony Rees behind him. We've got Dave Sharp in 4th. Dan McKenzie's doing extremely well on number 132. He's up in 5th. Dan wasn't here yesterday. He's had to start at the back of the grid because he did not do qualifying, so he didn't make a grid slot. So Dan McKenzie riding the wheels off that number 132. He's doing extremely well to be up in 5th place right now, ahead of Kevin Beaumont and Alistair's brother James. But it is still Alistair Hugenboozem starting to edge ahead of Mitch Rees, still within the bounds of probability, but He's got 0.4 of a second on Mitch Rees right now, so he's doubled his lead in the last lap.
He is definitely trying to put the pace on.
He's starting to get to the point where he can't hear Mitch's bike.
Yeah.
When you've got somebody riding that close behind you, not only have you got the noise and vibration of your bike, but you can hear the guy behind you. You can hear his engine, you can hear his gear changes, and you can just sense his presence. And Alistair has managed to pull out just enough for that to not be a factor, because it is a bit unnerving. You've got all this going on and you've got noise behind you. You know, if you fart, he smells it. It's that close. It really is at 200 odd Ks.
You can certainly feel the rider as they're getting closer into you. You can feel the slip streaming effect. You can feel the buffeting as the air changes around you when they come up the inside or the outside. These guys are very, very talented, though Alistair will know exactly where Mitch is. He'll know which side of the track he's looking to make the pass on, and Alistair's riding a brilliant ride just to hold him at bay.
Mitch has made up just quietly. He's made up about 0.4 of a second over that last lap, because he's now on Alistair's tail as they come onto the straight.
Mitch has decided to have a go.
And he's having a go up the outside. But no, Alistair's got the legs. If he can keep that pace, he's going to maintain position. Now, from a racer's point of view, if you're in that race position like these two are, given the choice, I would actually rather be second, because I can see what the guy in front of me is doing, and if I can see lap after lap he's slightly late on the brakes, or there's an area where he's a little bit slower, then I can pick my moment to get past him. You've got the advantage if you're sitting behind him. As long as you're close enough, you can capitalise on any mistakes that he makes, whereas the guy in front, he has to just focus on his own game and make sure that he doesn't leave the door open.
That's true, Phil, that's true. But to be fair, some guys really like leading, and I think Al's one of those guys. He sets his own strategy for the race. He likes to lead from the front, and
he should be doing it long enough.
He has been doing it long enough. And let's not forget, both of these guys know each other's riding style very well. They've been riding together for a few years now, and they'll know where each other's strengths and weaknesses are. Al just needs to focus on his race, keep his head down, keep hitting his markers, hit the apex, get the gas on early, hit the brakes at the right point. Don't over brake, don't under brake. Just keep everything flowing smooth, and just wait and wait. Sooner or later, Mitch is going to try and make a move, and that's when Al has to decide whether to defend or whether to attack. And here we go, another big run down the straight. It does look like the Yamaha's got the lengths on the Honda. It does pull out 3 or 4 bike lengths down the straight even. But as we break into turn 1, the Honda closes up pretty well. Looks like it might have a little bit more stability on the front end perhaps. But then as soon as they touch the throttle, Al's Yamaha jumps out another bike length again. So it looks like the Yamaha's got the legs, but certainly the Honda appears to have the chassis today.
He's definitely quicker through the infield, there's no doubt about that. But he just hasn't got opportunity or just quite enough speed to get past. I mean, Mitch Rees is our defending 2021 New Zealand Superbike champion. He was Superbike champion in 2020 as well, so he's twice champion. I mean, he's won championships in other classes too, but you know, him and Alistair, they're so closely matched. But I mean, the other thing, Ian, is yeah.
Squeezing through that right-hand section through there.
I mean, Alistair has done thousands of laps around this track, and there is, to a degree, a home track advantage, but Mitch has been running bikes for 20 odd years. He hasn't done as many laps as Alistair around here, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down much. But look, Mitch is in a good spot again. He's right up Alistair's tail.
Yeah, I think
the Yamaha, they're going to go past damn near side by side. But look, here we go. So the gap.
So Mitch now knows that to win this, he has to be leading out of the sweeper.
Yes.
He cannot follow and win onto the straight.
0.18 of a second, ladies and gentlemen. That's a tenth, just under 0.2 of a second.
So now Mitch really has to work and work and work. He has to get right up behind Alistair and find a way to be able to sit there with only 4 laps to go. He closes up really well into the hairpin, but the hairpin naturally closes things up as the bikes are slower as they run in. Alistair gets a great run out up towards the right-hander, and he's very, very fast through the right-hand section here as well.
But look at the lead they've built up over Tony Rees. There must be, well, shit, it's about 14 or 15 seconds that they've got over Tony.
Yeah, and 25 years as well, to be fair. So congratulations to Tony Rees, man in his, I shouldn't say it, but is he nudging 50 now to be running in third place and pulling out lap times like this? Absolutely outstanding effort from him.
The older we get, the faster we went, mate. Come on, give him a break.
Absolutely. And here we go, Alistair again holding the lead through onto the sweeper, onto the main straight. Let's see if he can get closed down by Mitch this time.
He's got about 4 bike lengths going into the straight. That's traditionally, that's been enough for him to maintain that, because the Yamaha is just that little bit quicker down the straight. But here we go. Alistair absolutely flying on that Yamaha. 3 laps to go. He's just got to keep it together for 3 more laps. Make no mistakes.
And he's doing a fantastic job of leading, to be fair. He's holding his lap times consistent.
Look at the speed that he carries into pothole. That is impressive. But then Mitch comes back and closes the gap. So going into the sweeper, into the hairpin, that's where Mitch traditionally makes up a bit of room, but not this time.
No,
I wonder if somebody's getting tired out there.
Well, these boys haven't done huge amounts of racing over the last 12 months. You know,
nobody has.
Bike time has been rare, so I'm sure that there is a bit of bike fitness suffering out there. These bikes are so powerful. A lot of the riders suffering from a bit of arm pump, muscle fatigue as the day wears on. Yep. Alistair still holding that good 0.2 of a second gap. Couple of bike lengths, stretches out to 3 or 4 on the throttle.
He carries a lot of corner speed into the dipper, doesn't he?
He does.
That's that point where you're hard over to the right and then you straighten up and power on as it goes uphill. That's where people start falling off when they're tired, because that's probably the most physical part of the track, wrestling the bike through the dipper, and then you're powered on as you're still cranked over. So, but it is Alistair Hugenbosom out in front. He's 0.3 of a second ahead now.
And we're down to 2 laps to go.
2 laps. Come on, Alistair. That trophy needs to stay in the South Island, mate, and it's all on your shoulders.
Mitch is giving it everything he's got to take it back home, I'm sure. And I'll tell you, as fierce a competitor as these guys are on the track, I'm sure we'll see them both shake hands and congratulating each other afterwards. It was fantastic racing from a fantastic pair of guys. Oh, and Mitch has closed that gap up. He's right on the back wheel now. So he knows with 2 laps to go, he has to be leading onto the straight on the last lap.
Well, he's got to be leading before, ideally.
Here he goes, mate, having a look. Having a look through the infield. Will he have a look on the way into the right-hander after Queenstown, after Christchurch Casino Carousel? Oh, and he sat up out of the seat there, hard on the throttle. It gave him a little kick. That's ruined his run into the right-hander. So his next opportunity will be the entrance into probably the sweeper onto the straight.
Alistair's trying to make that bike as wide as he can, but Mitch is having none of it.
Here's the next opportunity for him if he can squeeze through.
Yeah, he wants to get round the outside on the sweeper, but he won't. But he's as close as it's possible to get. He knows this is his best opportunity, but he's not close enough.
Here we go, folks. White flag lap. White
flag's out. 1 lap to go. The gap's down to 0.1 of a second.
This is as close as it's been through the race, ladies and gentlemen. Watch them into turn 1. Is there going to be an attempt there? No. I'm going to pick an attempt into the hairpin. So everyone over at the hairpin, clapping and cheering for these guys. These guys are putting it all on the line.
He's going to try and outbrake him. Going into the hairpin. That is it. That's where he's got. Oh, he's not close enough. Nope, not this time round.
So the only other
spot that he's got is into the right-hander after the casino complex, leading up to the dipper. But he is not quite close enough. Here we go.
Not into the... got a better drive this
absolutely
time.
nothing in it.
And they're
They
coming
are
up on
side
back
by
markers.
side.
And they're coming
Back
up on
markers
back
could play
markers.
a role in this. Yes, they can.
Now, of course, back markers' responsibility is to maintain their line, not to move offline. And there
He's
we go.
got past
There's
it going
Mitch. He's
into
gone
the dipper.
through.
It's Mitch Reese out in front. He's got past Hoogie, just leading into the dipper. Come on, Alistair.
And here we
And
go.
there's a back marker they're coming up to, so this could be a critical moment in the race, but Mitch has definitely got an advantage. He's got past the first back marker.
And the back
Alistair
marker's done
is
well to hold his
10
nerve.
bike lengths behind. Come on, Alistair. Go on, go on,
we go.
go on. And he's not
And it's
going to
going
make
to be
it.
Mitch Rees for the win
Hey.
with Alistair Hoogenbosom in second. And
Oh.
I know you gutted, Phil, but that was a fantastic race. Absolutely brilliant. And I've got to say, congratulations to the back marker. He did his job perfectly. Held his line, didn't flinch as the guys went either side of him. Fantastic job to that young man as well. Brilliant riding there. Absolutely brilliant. Commiserations to Alistair Hoogenbosom because he led that whole race except for the last lap. Just a brilliantly planned strategy from Mitch Rees to take the win for Team Honda.
So Alistair set the fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 30.3. Leads for 9 out of 10 laps. Halfway around the last lap, he gets overtaken and loses the New Zealand Grand Prix by 0.17 of a second.
Oh, I tell you, Mitch Rees, I would say, had been working on that strategy for the entire race.
Yep.
He sat there
Yep.
and sat there. He was patient. He was controlled. He rode a brilliant race. But so did Alistair. You know, Alistair gave it everything he had. He was putting every ounce of effort he had into winning that race. It's just one slight little run wide, and Mitch made his pass.
As such things, fortunes are made and lost. Right.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was pretty impressive. Geez, I need a break now. Right, coming up, Formula 2. Right, so this is going to be a 10-lap race as well, I believe, and it's going to be another showdown with Avalon Biddle and Jake Lewis, which has been a thriller all weekend. So we'll be back in a minute. They won't be long because they're still trying to run things as quick as we can, but it will be a 10-lap race for the New Zealand title.